Hello, everybody. Welcome to a fan forum. It's just me at the minute. Manchester United have just beat Omonia 3-2. I can't lie. This is a little bit abrupt. It's all just kind of happening. We are obviously waiting for Jordan, Beth, and Adam to join me. But yeah, I've just come back from my holidays. Not that anyone actually cares, but we've got a win at the end of the day, guys. I think that's the main thing that we want to kind of get out of that is that it was a win. Everyone in the comments is suing, but basically, I think for me the overarching thing is, and obviously if you're joining us from Mark's stream that he was obviously doing on the United stand, then welcome in. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Please do like. We are waiting for people to join. We've had a few technical issues. I am the last person standing at the minute. We're waiting for Beth, Jordan, and Adam. If you're just joining us, but yeah, I mean, I can crack on into kind of my thoughts of the game. I think at the end of the day, it was a training game. However much you look at it, we could have won that game 8-0. We could have, as we have done, won it 3-2. And I think either way you look at it, there's always going to be negatives to take out from it. There's always going to be positives to take out from it. Not that there were that many. Rashford was a positive for me, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a win is a win. And this group is going to come down to the wire, it's looking like for me as well. You got Real Sociedad won again. So they're 9 points out of 9 so far. So yeah, I think it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to us having to beat them. But I mean, as I say, my thoughts on the game, you know how sad it is to see Ronaldo in that game. Like it is so frustrating. I actually feel sorry for him. It's not ideal. I mean, he just looks a shadow of his former self, and this is even from like last season. I mean, the work rate, you can't really fault the work rate. He did get an assist, although he definitely was shooting for that assist. 100% was shooting, but I mean, for me, he just doesn't look anywhere near as confident, especially when he's going out on his left foot. You think back years ago, he used to put the ball out on his left foot and absolutely strike it. When these opportunities come along now, he just doesn't seem that confident to do that. And a lot of you guys are picking up on it as well. Ronaldo is just unlucky. I mean, yeah, look, there's obviously you got to make your own luck in these situations, and Ronaldo literally, if you had a person, or you had to pick a person, to be in the situation Ronaldo was in when he hit the post, when he should have scored open goal, you'd pick Ronaldo, right? He scores that literally. You give him another 99 attempts, he scores every single one. So it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Yeah, he wasn't shooting. He wasn't shooting. I mean, he definitely was shooting. You can definitely tell he was shooting. But I mean, look, he's. I mean, and I think today actually would have been if he put on a very good performance and scored 1, 2, 3 goals, I think he would have had an argument for starting against Everton. And look, Martial comes on, scores with like his second or third touch. It's always good to see. He was scoring hat-tricks this year. He's not finished. No one gets old in 90 days. He's just in a bad phase mentally. We'll get back with time, says Mateus. I mean, yeah, look, I agree with you. He's not finished. I guess there's just various ways you can kind of look at it from, and for me, I just don't personally see him fitting in the Ten Hag system, or not even necessarily that, maybe him thriving in a Ten Hag system, because he's not going to be. And I was listening to various, I can't remember actually what it was, whether it was a radio station or a YouTube video podcast or something, but they were looking at, Ronaldo isn't going to be that player that's going to go down the leagues as he like gets older. He's going to go out retiring at the highest level. And he needs to go and play wherever he is and thrive. And he's just not doing that at United at the minute. Here we go. Beth, Jordan, and Adam inbound. If you are joining us and you missed what I was saying at the start, I am at the minute the last person standing. But yeah, we have got Beth, Jordan, and Adam inbound. Everything's been a little bit abrupt. We've had a few technical issues, but I appreciate you holding on with us nonetheless. We'll be cracking on to the with the normal fan interaction, and yeah, it is. It'll all be good in due time. You just stuck with me for a little bit. I apologize, people. I apologize. Ronaldo's cursed. I've seen a lot of tweets, a lot of funny tweets. But you know, it's just unfortunate to see. Beth, hello. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you right now. 1 second.
Oh, she can't hear me. Well, I can hear you.
Right, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. You on your own right now?
Yeah, we're winging it at the minute. We're just kind of winging it, freestyling it at the minute.
Well, what part are you up to? Get me involved.
No part really. Just kind of talking about Ronaldo, really.
Right, okay.
Yeah, saying, I mean, a lot of people saying, you know, he's just unlucky, and he's cursed, even, you know. But I think for me, look, he's obviously you make your own luck, right? And I was saying, you know, where he missed that kind of open goal, you put him in that situation another 99 times, he scores, right? Like that's a given. It's kind of a natural thing that he's going to do. Beth wearing an Omonia kit.
Guys, honestly, last time I was on here, apparently I was wearing a Celtic kit as well. No one likes this jumper, clearly.
Jordan.
The thing is,
Jordan too.
Yeah, Jordan's in the room now.
Yes, guys, quick dash from the garage to the house. Apologies for
we've got it sorted.
We're absolutely just spinning it off the dome right now. Sorry, Beth, to cut you off. Carry on.
I was going to say, on Ronaldo, in my opinion, even though he didn't score, which ultimately he should have, I feel like if the whole back wall was an open net tonight, he still wouldn't have scored. Like it was that point where you're thinking, when is he going to score? But as an overall performance, I think that's one of his best this season. Do I think it's enough to get him into the Everton starting lineup? No. But do I think he was more involved? Do I think his link-up play was better? Do I think he had a good performance apart from the goal? I actually do. Yeah, I actually do. I know it's Omonia, so it's not as if you're playing against the best defenders in the world. But I thought, from what I could judge, despite not scoring, which you're a number 9, really, you should be scoring. I thought he played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, before you joined us, we were just talking, I was kind of just spitballing various stuff because I was just sat here by myself for 5 minutes. But we were just talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, and obviously Adam, here he is.
Yeah, got him. Everyone jump in the gun and leave me behind.
we've got everyone, but Alan Kenny says forward line will be Anthony Martial, Rashford for the rest of the season. It's interesting. I'm sure we can dive into it, but we can officially start the God, I nearly choked then. The proper fan forum. So Adam, do you wanna take it away?
Yeah, I do want to take it away. It's one of them weird ones tonight, guys, I think, isn't it? Because we've got the win. We're moving on swiftly in the group, but it just feels like we've got that air of concern and negativity about it. Like, why haven't we finished off this poor outfit of a team a lot sooner than what we did? It just feels like that, doesn't it? I've just said my piece and spoken to Ricky. Ricky rated this team up as non-league, National League sort of standards. I don't know where you guys are at with that. I mean, Jordan, in terms of that for you tonight, I've not spoke to you since the derby. Was that enough for you tonight, or do you feel like we just, I don't know, mate. I don't know what the word is to describe that performance tonight. It's a bit weird.
It is, but I think we just need to put the brakes on it and just remember where we've come from. I think, last season was never going to be fixed in the space of a month or two. And we are going to have losses like we had the other day against Man City. It is work in progress for Ten Hag. He's still learning about these players, their characters, their strengths, their weaknesses. And then rolling into tonight, I thought we were going to put him to the sword. I'd like us to do to teams what some teams seem to do to us, Brentford, Man City, and stick 5 goals on us. We just don't seem to have that in our locker. I think he would have learned a lot about the players tonight. There was areas which I thought were good. There were certain performances that I thought were good. I think I agree with that super chat about the forward 3. I think that was his chosen forward 3 over pre-season, which seemed to click and score goals. Rashford and Martial definitely seem to bring the best out of each other. We have to take from it what we can and roll into the weekend against Everton.
Yeah, I mean, I said on my vlog, Beth, that Ten Hag won that game. I thought one positive I took from it was the fact that he went, Sancho, Malassi off. Sorry, that's just not good enough. I'm not waiting around anymore. Off you come. And pretty much the substitutes that came, showed it up. And obviously Martial, Rashford, completely changed the game. I was like, where was that Rashford at weekend? But substitutes played a big part tonight, Beth.
Yeah, I said on the group chat, if we bring Martial on, we'll score. I tweeted out saying Martial is our best attacker. I've said it for quite a while now. Like, genuinely, with Sancho as well, it's not as if with Sancho, it's not as if he's a bad player, because he's not. It's just the last couple of games he's had have been very poor. And against Omonia, I expected him tonight, especially after the game against the derby, to come out, go at players. I mean, show some hunger, like Rashford and Martial did when they came on. You could see like kind of the aggression there. There just wasn't that. It is lackluster. I thought even passing back to Malacia when he was under pressure, your head's just not, you're just not switched on. And this is a game we had to win. So I'm glad he pulled him at half time along with Malacia. I'm glad he just didn't pin it on Malacia in that sense. And yeah, I think it has to be now. He has to be dropped and kind of get that treatment of like, he'll get his chance again. He'll get an appearance off the bench, I'm sure of it. And he can come on and have that same hunger and have that drive to make an impact. But for me, it has to be Rashford on the left, Martial up front, and Anthony on the right. I thought Anthony looked promising. I think there's potential there, especially as a right winger. I think he's our best right winger for sure. So I think you can definitely tell in this sort of game against an opposition where I think throughout they were just so poor. You can see which players there are kind of up for the fight, and you shouldn't even be up for the fight in a game like this. Do you know what I mean? But you could see when them players came on, the massive step up in pace, aggression, and yeah, I think it kind of confirmed a few things for him for team selection on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky came to me with something just on his fan vlog a minute ago, saying he feels sorry for Jadon Sancho that he's now been pushed out to the left. He was playing better on the right. You can see where players are going to be fighting for position now, because I think Rashford, 5 goals from the left-hand side this season now. We had our conversation about why he's not our number 9. I think he's clearly showing why he's not our number 9 and why he should be on the left-hand side of our attack. But I don't think that I don't think Sancho's going to get ahead of Rashford. Do you feel like he's better off fighting alongside Anthony on that side rather than trying to play him on the left? You could play Elanga and Rashford and then have Anthony and Sancho on the right. But I agree with Ricky. I think Sancho is better on the right-hand side. And I think, do you agree that it's actually affecting his game a little bit?
I think, I mean, possibly, yeah. For me, I think he just, again, just looks like every time he gets the ball, he just lacks that confidence and the want to take on players. He just doesn't look like he's wants to do that. Even I don't even know what would be the factor in him kind of getting that back, because he has had an okay start to the season. He scored a few goals and got a few assists here and there, and I think he's I don't know what it is, what it might take in order to gain that kind of Borussia Dortmund type, Sancho that we thought we were buying when we did, and it's just unfortunate to see for me. I don't know if he is better off fighting Anthony, because it just seems that Anthony's position on that right hand side is just kind of, that's it. Anthony will just play there for the rest of the season. Obviously, Sancho, look, we spent what, the same amount of, if not more money on Sancho than we did on Anthony, right? Or was it just a little bit less?
A bit less.
And I think, yeah, I mean, look, we all wanted Sancho ages ago, or I did. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, there's 100% a player there. It's just getting all of them to work together and having that team cohesion and that fluidness that hopefully we can have. I mean, for me, the game was very much a training game as well. Like, no matter whether we won that game 3-2 or 8-0, it was the same kind of outcome was going to come from it. But it is a little bit disheartening to see, when Sancho gets on the ball, it's just a bit, there's no burst of energy, there's no burst of pace. It's just a bit meh.
Yeah. Do you reckon, Jordan, that it's because Anthony is Ten Hag's player? Sancho pretty much was a player bought by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, the manager's brought in Anthony, that's his player. And do you reckon there was a case of that? I mean, we've not seen Anthony. I mean, he came up in the second half a little bit against City, but we have seen him change teams when bad performances come in. We've seen, obviously, McTominay drop tonight after his first sort of defeat over this good run of form. But until Anthony has a bad game, I don't see now Martial's back. I don't see Sancho starting unless obviously Rashford has a bad game, and then we've got Alanga to come in as well. It's a tough one to sort of choose from.
Yeah, I said a while ago, if Ronaldo had hit a bit of form or Martial comes back, Sancho was the one that I felt was most at risk. And given the way he's played, I really can't see how he starts the game on Sunday. I'm actually slightly concerned for Sancho because, you know, teams like he played against today, he should be running at those fullbacks and absolutely have them on toast. Yeah. And I just don't see it. I just don't see it from him. And more importantly, I just don't see that effort from him to even try. It's not like he's trying and he's not beating fullbacks. Where Anthony today was trying things, cute touches, and you could see, like Beth said, you know, I wouldn't use the word potential because we've paid nearly 100 million for him, but I would say that you could see that there's a player in there that is ready to adapt to the challenge ahead of him, where Sancho just seems to almost ghost through games at times. What he did for passing back for that goal was absolutely unforgivable, and I'm really glad that Ten Hag dragged him at half-time, and I hope that does put a rocket up his arse, because that is not acceptable on any level, and someone else in the changing room should have had a word with him about that. Like, we need to be playing on the front foot, especially against teams that, you know, in this league. I mean, you looked at that fixture today. I put the poster to the group of Man United playing who they played, Arsenal playing who they, like, you talk about fallen giants, like, it's frightening. And these players coming on 70 million, huge wages, should absolutely be terrorizing these teams. Yeah, you can understand your Man Cities to a degree that we want to be competitive, but we ultimately may lose. But today, you gotta stand up and be counted.
Honestly, as well though, on the point of Sancho losing out, even for me now, if say Rashford did hit a bad spell of form or he got injured again, I would generally rather have Martial on the left and then play Ronaldo up front than bring him back in if he keeps playing like that. There's no impact on the game there, none.
Yeah.
On that, Beth, then with Ronaldo the way he's playing, would you be confident of him actually hitting the back of the net anytime soon? Because he's, you know what I mean? I seen it tonight and I picked it out. I seen Martial lose a brace and Rashford lose a hat-trick for the sake of trying to get Ronaldo a goal. He's an influence, but sometimes it's not the right type of it. That game was still on a knife edge, and we're trying to get Ronaldo a goal. It's like, let's concentrate on the day job first and get the game gone. It's get the game actually put to bed. I was thinking it was like, why are you even trying to lay him in? Just take the goal. But he sort of looked like a forlorn figure there towards the end. Is he the right type of influence on that pitch right now? I mean, I thought he tried tonight. I'll give him that. His work rate and to be honest, Beth, his movement off the ball for Rashford goal was excellent. So I can see that. I can definitely see that.
The thing is with Ronaldo, he should have scored tonight. There's no doubts about it. And he's having one of them times at the moment where a lot of strikers go through it where he can't hit the back of the net. It's just not happening for him. But like I said before, for me, one of his best performances on the pitch all season. I don't think it was particularly amazing, but he's been poor this season, in my opinion. And I thought his link-up play was good. I thought he was getting in good positions at times. You're against Omonia, so you can't really judge it too kind of, too much. But for me, I thought his link-up play was a lot better, and I think he definitely working well as a team. The only problem for me, which I don't necessarily think it's Ronaldo's fault, is players get into that headspace. Dalot does it so much, where every time they get the ball, you're like, where's Ronaldo? And you'll miss the obvious pass and the pass that should happen just to try and get it into Ronaldo. Like, if Rashford scores that goal, we're comfortable then. Instead, he misses his hat-trick to try and set up Ronaldo when he should have shot. And if he shot, I'm confident he would have scored. If they would have equalised then, I would have been kind of questioning that. I'm glad they didn't. So sometimes it can be an impact in the sense that everyone just kind of wants to get Ronaldo that goal. He's that figure where everyone looks up to him in that sense. But I think as a performance, I actually thought he had a good performance today despite not scoring.
Yeah.
Sorry,
just
did everything but score.
Just jumping in that quickly. I think that I can see where Beth's coming from there, that it was one of his better performances in the sense that everybody goes on about how he's not a team player and how he drags the team down. Like, that wasn't him today. Like, he was literally busting the gut to try and drag that team over the line. So, yeah, 100%. And I think everybody in that squad knows how important he is to the team. So I feel like that's the reason they were trying to try and gift him that goal, because they know that once he goes on a run, he can score us 18, 20 goals this season, and we need that. So I can kind of understand why they were guilty of that, but you're right. I'd like him to be a little bit more selfish, especially when Rashford showing that kind of form in the game today. He should go and be goal hungry and try and hit his hat-trick.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Rashford, Charlie, it counts for nothing unless you do it again the week after in a bigger game, doesn't it, mate? I mean, I'm chuffed for Rashford tonight, but I've still not forgotten about weekend when he went missing. I questioned Ten Hag to see if he would give players another chance, give a few players another chance in this game tonight. Sancho was one of them because he was as poor as Rashford, I thought, at weekend against City. But it's important that Rashford now carries that forward into the Premier League, isn't it? Especially away from home and a tough game that's coming up at weekend against Everton, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's obviously great, as you say, to see him have an impact. And I think it's very Rashford-like to come on in this type of game, or the kind of Europa League, Champions League games that we've had where he comes on and has a great 45 minutes. But as you say, it'll all be forgotten about if he plays against Everton and throws another stinker. Like there's got to be some form of momentum building from these players that are playing, and the even if it's just, again, I always come down to like the basics of like Ronaldo has shown today, right? Everything in front of goal for him has gone wrong. But in terms of work rate and team ethic and stuff like that, he's shown that, right? And this is what we need to see kind of week in, week out. And that's the way you basically win, the fans over, obviously scoring goals and winning games as well works. But yeah, I think, again, the Everton game, if we go to that game and put in a horrific performance and, the wingers aren't tracking back and all this comes up again, then yeah, it's kind of back to square one. These goals and that performance means nothing really.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, I would be interested. I've not heard it yet. Ten Hag's post-match press conference, how he thought that game going down, because I think he's going to be really annoyed just at the way that how open that game was at the end there. I mean, Omonia, if we kept the ball, we're getting nowhere near us, but we seem to invite it on. We seem to make it an end-to-end game there and lose control at the end. And it was great to see, and it's exciting football. But I mean, there's a time in a game, and I think that in-game management from a lot of our players, I think that's where he's got to try and get a grip of it, isn't it? Do you feel like that, in a way, he's now looking at it and going, right, I've seen enough? He substituted Bruno off when we needed a goal, which is very strange when you bring your captain off. I mean, maybe resting him for Everton, but it was 1-1 at the time. Obviously, Martial came on and scored that goal. But you feel like he is sort of like learning this team now and getting to grips with what he can do and the limitations that a lot of this squad has got.
Yeah, I think the Martial substitution for Bruno was bang on, because he was basically playing as a second striker anyway. So why not bring another striker on the pitch? So that was the right thing to do. I think we played so far forward because we just didn't feel any level of threat from him. I put a comment in the group, literally probably talking 1 minute before they scored, going, this team is absolutely terrible. As soon as we score one, we're going to score 5. Like, I didn't feel there was any level of threat. And as I said it, Sancho's given the ball away and they've just scored. So, and you could see that it was literally, like you said, a training exercise. It was defense versus attack at one point. They hadn't had a shot on goal until they scored. So you could kind of understand why it turned into that kind of game towards the end. I thought Casemiro was good in the midfield. And, there's no way you could ever play like that against a Premier League team. We would lose 5-0. So I think like Charlie said, if we'd won 8-0 or we won 3-2, we're still going to learn the same things from them, because the opposition just really wasn't the best. Where we failed is that we didn't put them to the sword, which has been the same situation time and time again throughout this season. Even when we were winning, we weren't hammering teams 3-4-0. We're beating teams 1-0 or.
Yeah.
So I think he hasn't learned any more about the squad than he knew anyway, if that makes sense. And looking at this Everton game on the weekend, they don't concede a lot of goals. And regardless of what people say about Frank, he'll have them well set up against us. And it's going to be difficult. It's a horrible time to be playing, Sunday evening, 7 o'clock. Terrible time. Not looking forward to the late night fan forum, but that's going to be a tough game for us, guys.
Not looking forward to the late drive home, mate, from Liverpool either. But that's what it is. I mean, Beth, looking ahead, I didn't think Bruno was bad tonight. I think he's getting a lot of criticism for no reason. I thought he was solid enough in there. But in terms of the team looking at Everton now, I heard you guys talking just before I came on. I think my front three would be Martial, Rashford and Anthony right now. I don't know if you guys are on par with that, just off the way the team's playing right now. The midfield is key because that's where we're losing out at the moment, Beth. Looking forward now, you've seen Casemiro tonight. Do you think he gets a start against Everton now? I thought Eriksen was off again tonight. I didn't think he was good. I thought he was slightly at fault for their first goal as well. He must have seen the offside there. He's got a head of steam and chasing back, but he's sort of like, we're like stuck with his midfield, Beth, again, isn't it? It's like, what is the best combination? I still don't think he's found it.
I think for me, Casemiro definitely plays. If I was going to swap anyone out from McTominay, it'd be Eriksen at this moment in time. But I wouldn't do that yet because I feel like because Eriksen's so good, he kind of gets another pass to see how he does again against Everton. I think he's so important. Yes, but for me, I was saying it throughout the game. I personally wouldn't be playing Eriksen twice a week. I just wouldn't. I feel like you get the best out of Eriksen, give him the most important game and let him play the way you know he can. The start of the season, he looked brilliant. He now looks tired and a little bit slow. Like, I think he can't be playing 90 minutes, 2 games a week. So for me, you prioritise what game's most important and you play him in that one. The other one, maybe play him 20, 30 minutes if you need him. So I would like to see a refreshed Eriksen play consistently. But yeah, I think Casemiro definitely starts. I think it was an absolutely unreal performance from him? No, but again, you can't judge it against this type of team. We're in possession constantly. I'd like to see his position against a team where we're kind of having to battle for the possession. But yeah, I think he starts. I thought his passing was good. And Bruno starts again just because of what he can do. I mean, that pass to Rashford was still really, really good, even though for me, again, not his best performance. The thing is about Bruno is I had no problem with his performance tonight. What bothers me is how far forward he's playing. If he just dropped a bit deeper, we'd have so many more outlets.
Times in that first half he actually did as well. I thought, oh, here we go. And then second half, it just went crazy.
Too far forward for me. Like, there's so many times you have to see Anthony or Dalot drop in because he's too far forward. If he drops in, then drops out, you've got so much more space open up. So if Bruno just kind of drops in a little bit more and works out how to do that, I think you'll see us building that play a lot better because I think he's crucial for that. But yeah, Eriksen, again, I thought it was a pretty bad game for him, but I'd probably still go with that midfield 3 on Sunday, looking at the depth of what we've got.
Charlie, I got a question for you, mate. Are we looking at this as like we need to be thinking like we have fought the last 3 or 4 years under Ole? We need these holding midfielders. Or do we go with what Ten Hag said and trust the system? Is he ever going to play 2 holding midfielders? Is he just going to keep with what he knows and make this work? And the players have to adapt to it and realise it, because I still look at it and go, we're not a dozen games in to Ten Hag's sort of tenure pretty much yet. And do we trust in the manager? Because the manager might be telling Bruno to do what he's doing, and we're all slagging him off for not keeping in position. But are we sort of Olified in terms of thinking we need 2 holding midfielders? That's what we've always wanted and what we've always been missing under Oli. But Ten Hag's come in and might want to play completely different, but we've just not adapted to it yet.
Yeah, I think we've football fans, me are like a very kind of recency bias. It's, you see one game and everything, whether it's good or bad, it's all roses or it's not. So I mean, look, as I say, we've just got to remember that there's going to be good games where the formation and the players that are playing in that formation look unbelievable and we play great and we win 3-4-0. And then we have games like today where we're playing against the team. I believe I heard on the commentary they finished 7th or something in their league. Like, and we it's not like we look like we struggled against them, but there was just no urgency or it was like we were playing a training game that no one really cared about, an in-house friendly, pretty much. It's just how it seemed to me. There was no kind of cutting edge, as we've kind of spoken about. And you've just got to kind of I've seen comments as well saying that the weekend we need to play Casemiro and McTominay, and then who do you play in front of them? But I mean, there's so many different formations, and even when you have a formation, you know, kind of roles and responsibilities within the team, that it just depends on the personnel that you have. And if Ten Hag trusts within the midfield that he's using, whether that is Bruno, Eriksen, Casemiro, or McTominay, Casemiro, Fred, whoever it is, right? Like, I won't say them three names in a sentence altogether ever again. But I think he's just got to, you know, he's trusting in the players that he's putting out to do what he's wanting them to do. And if they can't do it, then he's going to drag them off. And that's what it seems like. You know, he's done it with Malacia and he's done it with Sancho. He took Bruno off. I don't know if that was maybe because he was not performing as well as he possibly was. But I think we've just got to trust in what he's looking at. And obviously, you know, we can have opinions about various bits and bobs, but that's the beauty of football, I guess, is fan opinion, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Jordan, another one for you. I'm just going to throw another swerve ball at you, mate. I mean, Martial on as a number 10. If you want to play Ronaldo, I think Ronaldo needs continuous games to hit his straps, personally. I don't think he's a player to come off the bench one game or just start one game here and there. We talked about this before. Martial can play 10. Is there a different formation we can set up with at different times with both Martial and Ronaldo?
Not with the way Ten Hag wants to play. I really don't think so. I think it's one or the other. Something's got to give. And given the way Martial links up with Rashford, and then what we're getting from Rashford from the left, I think Martial needs to be the number 9. Their link up over the summer was, could that be transferred into the league? And you've seen from today that it can. They seem to have an understanding.
And Liverpool.
Liverpool, they interlink, they change positions, and it's almost got slightly telepathic between them, which is exactly what you want from your forward line. And I think Antony will soon tune into that the more the three of them play together. Going back to Beth's point about Eriksen, I 100% agree. I said at the beginning of the season when Eriksen was playing well, that he still seemed to fade after 70 minutes in those games anyway. The fact that we're now playing him twice a week is madness. The game time has to be managed. We've got to cherry pick the games that we play. The concern is that when he drops off, the whole team seems to drop off. Those 4 games that we won he was dictating play. So we've definitely got to be cherry picking the games that he plays. Almost like how we were handling Matic, not last season, the season before, when it was sort of like, we're going to play him 90 minutes a week and get the best out of him. There'll be certain weeks where we have to play him twice, but then we might rest him for 7 days. So yeah, definitely we've got to cherry pick the games that he plays in.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it and I went, that's like, you've got a point, Beth, in terms of Eriksen and how he's played. I mean, I don't think he's used to playing 2 games a week of this intensity and this pressure. I don't think yet. I do think we have got options there as well. It's a shame that we're not ever going to see Donny van der Beek now. I don't think on that. Go on, Jordan.
Sorry, mate. Just one point on that. Do you know the other thing I think is that he's probably not used to having to do everything himself as well. There's usually other midfielders around him.
He's got better teams around him, you mean?
Yeah. No, I'm being serious. Yeah. He's probably had more creative players around him that the onus isn't solely on him to be the creator. So he probably is having to work harder than he's ever had to work before.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, personally, I can see my team for weekend. I mean, what did you guys think of Lindelof's performance tonight? I mean, he doesn't fill me with confidence, and that's the problem I've got going in. I think that's where we're worried now. And does that automatically make you think you need a little bit more protection all of a sudden in that midfield? And that's what I don't want to go down. But Beth, do we need to be a bit more pragmatic in certain games? I mean, a lot of the journalists were calling for it. He has to learn, Ten Hag, that he can't just go and play his game at the likes of City. Everton's a different ball game, but they are solid at the back, and then they hit on the break. I worry about Lindelof with the break, and I've seen it a few times tonight as well.
Do you know what it is with Lindelof for me? Average. He's an average player. Like, I think is a rotational centre-back, he's a very good option to have. But as a starting player, I'm not too sure. He just has a mistake in him. He's decent on the ball, but he has a mistake in him, and he can be quite weak at times. Today, a couple of times I was worried. I think you could really tell the difference, the level between Martinez and Lindelof. I thought Martinez was miles better today, passing, everything, aggression, everything. I like Lindelof as a rotational centre back, don't get me wrong, and I think it's important to keep him in our squad for them purposes. But looking against Everton, is that a weak point for me? Yeah, it is. It is. With Varane, we just look so much better. And you know what? Now you've brought that up, that actually does kind of make me question, because I've actually not thought about that since the game, of whether maybe we do need to be a little bit more protective because of that reason. I do think there is going to be a few more games to come this season where Eric Ten Hag maybe learns a bit of a lesson about the Premier League, in the sense of every single game, it looks like he wants to go out there and play like, he wants to play on the front foot. He wants to play attacking football. We do leave ourselves open for counter-attacks a lot of the time. We got absolutely crucified for it against City. Don't think Everton have the same powers, but it's going to be a lot higher quality than this Omonia team. So maybe it is something that he has to look at.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie, you could look at that and go, Everton's work rate in midfield is right up there. Maybe that's why Bruno came off and was rested, because we are going to need them players that put in them extra yards against Everton. We have to at least match their work rate and energy. And I think ultimately in the end, the forward line like ours should get the win. It's very similar to, I see it being very similar to the Leicester and Southampton games, the way it's going to go at weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not. I hope we can actually score a few goals. And I just think sometimes it gets to the point with us where if we don't score or create like kind of a clear-cut opportunity within the first like 20 minutes, it's like panic stations, and we're all a bit like, okay, we don't really know what else to do. And I mean, the Everton game, I think is a good opportunity to kind of put a proper, not necessarily like bounce back, but a proper statement down and go, look, no, we're here. City game was kind of what it was. Completely forget about that and kind of, kick on again and get another little run going. And that's hopefully what we can do. Again, Jordan's pointed out the Sunday evening kickoff is strange. It's strange, and they'll probably be thinking that as well. But it's football, and I mean, Everton have got to do it right, but they just haven't played on a Thursday night. So I mean, look, I'm excited by it because it can't be any worse than the City game, right?
No, it can't. And believe me, last time we actually won it, Goodison with fans in the stadium, was a night game. So yeah, we don't do well at Goodison Park in the day.
He remembers these because he's always there.
Yeah, I've never seen us win at Goodison Park. I don't want to join it, and there's plenty of wood around there, so I'm touching all of it. But I think the law of averages is going to give me a win or something this weekend, because Jordan, we don't seem to draw. It's either a win or a loss on the Ten Hag, isn't it? And I don't mind it. It's exciting in a way. And we said at the start of the season, look, we want to see a style of football more than anything. We want to see that grow. None of us expected to be challenging. Maybe top four was overachieving, but you feel like what we've seen so far and a little bits of encouragement have just let ourselves get carried away a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? Jay always says it's the hope that'll kill you, and it is true. I think
it is.
After 2 wins, back-to-back wins, we're like, all right, we're not buying into it. 3 wins, we're like, 4 wins. I'm like, listen, we're winning the league. It's happening. It's on. I'm all in. But we have to remember. I just keep trying to, drag myself back down to reality and remember how bad we were last season.
Yeah,
the pain of last season, and just remember that this season is going to be a roller coaster. There will be periods where we'll run our games together. There will also be bad periods. And, Ten Hag's job is to make that roller coaster as mild as possible. It's not going to be plain sailing this season. It's going to take 12, 18 months for us to really see his side.
We need a big one over a big dipper sort of roller coaster, don't we, mate? Well, less bumps.
That's what we need, but less bumps as possible. It's going to take 12 to 18 months for us to really see Ten Hag's side and the philosophy, and for him to get all the players in. He's still working with a squad that is 70, 80% not his. He's still making do. And he realised very quickly after the first 2 games that what he was asking this squad to do, they can't do. So he's making do. He's getting by. I think the World Cup will be a nice break for him to sort of evaluate where he's at and then go again before the January transfer window. But yeah, I think our job as fans is to remain patient, remember the journey that we're on, and ultimately it's going to take 12 to 18 months before we can really judge where Ten Hag's at.
It's very, very interesting. You've mentioned the World Cup there. I mean, Beth, there's a chance that he might actually have his pre-season front three, having 6 weeks off. If Rashford, Sancho and Martial don't get picked for the World Cup, he might get extra time to really work with the players. It may, like Jordan said, really benefit United.
It could do, yeah. I think especially with the likes of Jadon Sancho, it's really important and Rashford actually, because I mean, Rashford, I still think there's a lot more you can get out of him. And I think there is some coaching needed. I do think these players have a lot of potential. Do not get me wrong. I just think at the moment, there's so much inconsistency in them. So I think the World Cup would be a nice break for them to get out on the training pitch and train in that way. I generally wouldn't be surprised though. Well, I actually think Rashford will go to the World Cup if he keeps performing the way he is. I think he will. I think he's a different option for Southgate to have. I don't think Sancho will end up going. Martial's one of them where, for me, I think if I was a French manager, I'd take him, but I don't think it'll happen. But yeah, the training ground to train with them will be so important coming into January, and plus as well, which is more important for us, which is I'm happy if that Martial won't be going to the World Cup, is no injuries, hopefully, because I mean, hopefully you're not going to get injured during that training time. So I think it'll be a good thing. But also, one thing though is Martial's on this good vein of form now. Whenever he comes in, he looks like he's hungry. He looks like he's going to impact the game. I just hope that long period doesn't affect that. Yeah,
that's it. You want form to carry on. And you know what? I'm saying that this World Cup's come at a wrong time for United because we're in such good form. We have got winnable games coming up. Obviously, Chelsea, I know that is going to be a tough one. But we've got some easier. I mean, Everton, Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa. I think we've got Fulham as well in that run. West Ham. Yeah, so there's plenty of games there leading up to the World Cup. I think we've got 6 games, 5 or 6 that, you know what, we could really look to and go, we should be winning all of them games. It'd be nice to get an home game every once in a while, wouldn't it? I mean, can't remember the last time we really played at home. It felt like
I feel like I've been scammed. I'm never there.
Make sure you get your allocation of visits to Old Trafford in. No, you get your season ticket taken. What are you saying? No more, Adam. Don't get into it. Okay, moving on. Player ratings time. Charlie, I'm starting with you. David De Gea shipping goals for fun at the moment. Can't remember the last time he made a save, mate. Everything that gets hit goes in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's strange because, again, I almost feel like he didn't necessarily do that much wrong, but it's just like, you know, when you're a goalkeeper and you're conceding goals, or you must feel like you're doing something wrong. I think there's just certain things in his game. I'm thinking back to a moment as well where the ball kind of came and was like in between him and Shaw, I think, at one point, and it was like any other goalkeeper in the Premier League comes out and would just clean out Shaw. Like if he needed to, he'd just wipe him out. But like, I don't think, maybe that's a bit extreme, but I don't think he actually needed to do that. But De Gea just didn't seem too comfortable even just coming out further than 6 yards. And he was just a bit, but again, he didn't play that bad. I think I'd give him probably a 6 just because he conceded 2. I mean, again, they're not his fault. It's just kind of is what it is.
Yeah. Beth, any different for you? Hey, it's a hard one to call at the moment. I mean, the goal's going in. He's literally had no chance of saving anything recently.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything he can do with the goals. But for me, it's deja vu on me saying this. There was multiple times in that game where Martinez is calling for him to come off his line and come and take the ball, like pointing, calling. He just won't come off his line, and he still scares me with the ball at his feet. I mean, nothing came bad of it today, from what I could see, and the goals weren't his fault. So for me, I think I'd give him a 5.
Jordan, you happy with that?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to agree with Beth, and I don't know, maybe I've had a drink, but I'm going to agree with Beth. I think since me and Beth had the disagreement at the beginning of the season, I've watched him even more closely. And you're right, you know, when he's got the ball at his feet, he just seems so stiff and upright that at any moment he could lose the ball. And I'm absolutely petrified when I see him. He's got the ball at his feet. And yeah, the game has just moved on from a goalkeeper point of view. I'm still massively Team De Gea, and I'm not going to say anything other than that, but he is starting to worry me. I'm going to go for a 6. I don't think he could do anything about the goals. They're not his fault. I'd like him to do a bit more, but ultimately, it's just not him.
Yeah, no, it's just one of them spells. We did question it at the start of the season under Ten Hag. Would it be a problem? There was that moment early in the game, actually, where he was right on the byline. It looks dodgy there. I remember that. I was like, oh, my God, I don't know, let's kick it. Let's get rid of it. Do anything, please. But, yeah, I do see where all of you were coming from with that. I agree. I reckon 5 out of 10. Okay, Beth Malacia hauled off for the second game in a row at half-time. Is this the end? Is Shaw coming back at weekend? What you giving Malacia?
I give him a 4. And for me, it's not the end. But he's deservedly being dropped, and he'll just have to do what Shaw was doing, waiting for his time. Shaw, I'm sure, hopefully he'll get into good form, and we'll see that old Luke Shaw come back, that one that actually seemed to be brilliant. But if he doesn't, then Malacia will be hungry. He's ready to come in. We know there's potential there. We know there's a player there. We've seen it, so it's definitely not a bad option to have both of them. If they're competing for that place, hopefully we'll get the best out of him. But yeah, City game, he got turned inside out by Foden. And you can kind of understand that. You can't understand it. It was not good, but it's the best team in the world. So you think, you know what, like give Ten Hag, give him another chance tonight. Still for me, not great on the ball. Could have done more getting forward. And then I don't know what he was doing. Even though it was a bad pass from Sancho, he just handled it wrong. So rightfully, him and Sancho got subbed at half time. And yeah, I'd give him a 4.
Yeah, Jordan, you agreeing with that?
5, I'd give him. I think he's still very raw, isn't he? He's young, he's raw. I think there's a lot of potential, and he's nowhere near his ceiling. I think a spell on the sidelines won't do him any harm. Hopefully, Shaw rises to the challenge and shows a bit of form. But yeah, 5 for me.
Charlie, I'll see you tonight. Not a good day.
Yeah, it's annoying. Oh, loud vehicle outside. But I'm going to go not 4, not 5, 4.5. I think he was just really, really poor. I think what's good though is that Ten Hag is willing, not just him. You've seen it with Sancho, but is willing to drag these players off as well. Like he's not willing to sit and wait around and go, you know what, I'll give you what kind of managers classically do is I'll give you 10 minutes. If you don't improve, then you're coming off. It's just no, you're not good enough. Get off. So yeah, 4.5.
I'm happy with that as well. I'm happy that he's doing that. The other fullback, Diogo Dalot, Jordan. Take us away. He unselfishly squared one to Ronaldo. Thought he maybe have gone for it himself, but has he come back from that City performance with anything tonight for you?
Not really. I don't think he was amazing. I'm going to go for a 5. I just don't think there's any threat to his place with Wan-Bissaka. So, and I don't want it to go the other way, that he just becomes complacent and he doesn't push on, because I think at points this season he's been great, but there's no threat. I think with Malacia, there's somebody breathing down his neck in Luke Shaw that is ready to come in. Scott McTominay, you had Casemiro ready to come in. Dalot, there's no challenge, is there, with Wan-Bissaka at the moment? No. So yeah, I'd like to see him push on and find the form that he showed over that winning streak.
Charlie, Dalot for you tonight?
Probably 5. I mean, when he went through on goal, you could just tell in his head he was just like, I can't use my left foot. He just didn't know how to kick with his left foot. And obviously he squared it. But yeah, I mean, it's just as Jordan said, and I think he's obviously shown what he's capable of. You just don't want him to kind of think now his position is kind of set in stone because kind of whatever's going on behind the scenes with Wan-Bissaka. But I mean, I have no doubt, and it seems that Ten Hag trusts him and wants him to be that mainstay at right back. It's just obviously you got to find the balance between not giving full or showing that you're giving him the shirt week in, week out, because you obviously want him to carry on fighting for that position.
Yeah, no, Beth, in agreement with the boys?
I'd give him a 6. I thought he was decent. The only thing with Dallo is, again, just to kind of repeat what Charlie and Jordan said, like, he was so good at the start of the season. He had a poor game against City, and then again today, I just thought he was average, which is I'm giving him a 6. I'd like to see him get on the overlap a little bit more, but I don't know. I think on the ball he's pretty good, and it gives us something extra kind of going forward in that sense. Whereas you don't get that with the likes of Wan-Bissaka. So yeah, I just think it was an average performance from him. Nothing special, but nothing like poor.
I'm expecting similar from you, Beth, for Victor. Take us away with Victor Lindelof tonight.
Oh, yeah, Victor Lindelof for me. I'd probably give him a 5 actually, just because of that goal where he got caught. When it kind of put us under pressure for a little bit. I thought it was okay. I thought his passing was decent. But again, when he's in there instead of Varane, there's just a lot more fear in me. And I feel like it's a lot easier for us to be counter-attacked and kind of played through a little bit. But I don't think it was a bad performance from him. I just thought that mistake was a moment of weakness and just an average player for me. So yeah, I think I'd give him a 5.5 maybe.
Yeah. Jordan, Victor. Victor.
He fills me with absolutely no confidence whatsoever. And if we should have sent someone out on loan, it should have been him, and we should have kept Eric Bailly. I just want to get that off my chest, guys. But he just frightens me. I don't know. The drop off from Varane to him is massive, isn't it? 4.5. Yeah, 4.5.
Charlie scored that. So Charlie scored. Charlie, 4.5's out. You like your 0.5s? What's Victor having?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 5. To be fair, I just think he looks like he's gonna get blown over by the wind sometimes. He doesn't. He doesn't like when there's a 50-50 to be won. Yeah, when there's a 50-50 to be won. I'm not saying he is weak, because he very much might well not be, but he just doesn't come across like when there's a 50-50, he'd rather obviously make it a 60-40 to them and just be like, oh no, I won't go for that. I don't really fancy it, which obviously isn't kind of what you want from your centre halves. But yeah, it's again, I'm going to keep saying this. I don't think anyone or any of the back four, apart from Malacia, who clearly got dragged, I think had that
Somebody's
bad of a game.
Windelof in the comments.
Windelof.
Well, now you've said that, I'm like, I've actually never seen him go through anyone in a tackle.
Yeah, he just looks like he might break if he's going to go in one of these challenges.
Break Windelof. Yeah.
But yeah, I know 5 for me.
5. Our man, the butcher, Jordan. Martinez at the back again. Very busy, very solid from what I could see. I didn't really see many errors from him, but again, I think as a combined, the defense sort of just made each other look bad tonight for me.
Yeah, it's just it's mad, isn't it? How much it drops off when you take out Varane in there. I'm going to go for a 6. He is the centre back we've been crying out for a long time. Even if he is, tiny, he's still the man. Like, he fills me with the confidence I need. You're talking about Lindelof has never gone into a challenge and won it. Well, the opposite said for Martinez. He seems to fly into him and win them all the time. And it's just in general, just his passion and his enthusiasm is infectious wherever he is on the pitch. His passing is great. And it's just something we haven't had for years. So yeah, I'm going to go for 6 today.
Beth, what are you saying?
I'd give him a 7, I don't know if that's I don't know if that's
7 of the day. We're getting up there now.
I don't know if that's my bias, but I think his passing for a centre-back is unbelievable. Like, there were so many times in that game where he was struggling to make them passes through the lines, and he goes, sack you lot, I'll just do it, and passes it through the lines. And I just think he's aggressive. I never see him lose the ball. I think he was playing with a partner that was weak, as we've said. I think him and Varane as a partnership, even though the City performance happened, I still back him a lot. And I think they're brilliant together. And he's someone that you'd want to, he's just an old fashioned player in the type way. He's just so passionate and like aggressive. I love it. So maybe a bias a bit there, but I thought his passing was so good that I'd give him a 7.
Yeah. Charlie, do you disagree with any as we move on? We're running out of time.
God, they're back again outside. I saw one comment saying GTA Vice City outside my flat.
I've seen that one.
But no, 6 for me. Yeah, I agree with Beth. His passing is really good, and it was. I mean, it's hard. You know, it's hard for me to give him a higher rating just because we obviously conceded 2 goals, and as much as he might not have been at fault, he's obviously in the kind of defense. But yeah, 6 for me.
Yeah. Bruno Fernandes, Charlie. We'll go with Bruno first in the midfield.
I'm going to go with a 6. That's what I'm going to say. Not
really?
The greatest of games. 6. Not the greatest of games. But I mean, he's just, I don't know. He's so hit and miss recently. I just think he's been a bit, you know, you never kind of know which Bruno Fernandes is going to turn up. Yeah,
Beth, Bruno, for you, we talked about him before. I think Charlie nailed it there. I think he's adapting to a new system here, and I think he's stuck in between defense and attack most of the time. I think he's undecided the most of the game from what I can see.
I give him a 6, and that's purely for that pass for Rashford that boosted him up from a 5. Playing too far forward for me needs to, and if he is playing that far forward, needs to be dropping in a lot more. And I just know the levels Bruno's got, and he's not hitting them. So yeah, it's a generous 6.
Good signs for the future then, Jordan. If Bruno's got them levels that he's not hitting, I mean, the best is to come, hopefully.
I'm going to give him a 5. If I'm giving Martinez a 6, he wasn't as good as Martinez for me. I just think on game, you know, this kind of opposition, your world-class players, your leaders should stand out, and he just doesn't. He's not doing enough for me. He's not influencing the game enough for me. So I'm going to go for a 5.
Yep. Right. We'll have to speed through these next. We've only got a few minutes left. Casemiro and Eriksen, Jordan. Let's do a 2. What are we saying for these two? Describe them this game.
Casemiro showed me enough for me to want him to start next on the weekend. So I'm going to go for 2 6s, actually. I'm going to go for 2 6s. I think we're overplaying Eriksen. I think if we rested him, he's back up in the 7s and 8s. And I think Casemiro can get up to the 7s and 8s, given a run of games, and he gets used to playing with the players around him.
Beth, you agree with Jordan now, or slightly different?
I give Eriksen a 5. Didn't think he was that good. I think he was worse than Bruno. I give Casemiro a 6.5.
6.5. That's fair enough. Charlie?
Agreed. That's exactly what I would do.
Look at that. Charlie's back. Sunday self in Greece, and now he's right back on track level with everyone else. Hey. Moving on to the front line. This is where the numbers hopefully go up a little bit. I'm going to vote first of all to Cristiano. Beth did everything but score tonight for me. Like you said, one of his better games, but was it enough?
I'd actually give Cristiano Ronaldo a 7 tonight.
I see that. I can understand that.
He didn't score, and that's what you want from your number 9. But everything else, I thought he played well. I thought his link-up play was good. Won't go over old ground again, but yeah, I'd give him a 7.
Yeah, Charlie, where you at with Ronaldo tonight?
7. Yeah, just lacked a goal really for me. 7
for the number 7, Jordan. Are you agreeing?
Nah, guys, I think that's a little bit too generous. He had, regardless of his form, he had chances that he should be scoring. I'm going to go for 6 for effort. He needed a goal to get up in the 7s for me.
Yeah, I can see how all them scores have been made there. So what I'm going to do with the forwards now, I'm going to go Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford. Jordan, Sancho off, Ronaldo, Rashford on. Mark both of them.
Sancho 4. Absolutely unforgivable, giving that ball backwards. Should be positive. Didn't do enough to influence the game. Rashford 7.5. I thought from the wing against a team that gives you as much space, he's absolutely frightening. He might be one of the best. No, I'm not going to say it because I'll get clips. But he's frightening when you give him that much space.
Yeah. Do you guys agree, Charlie? Sancho, Rashford?
Yeah. Sancho was toilet really for the minutes he played today. I'd give him a 4, and then, I mean, since I gave Ronaldo a 7, I'd probably have to give Rashford higher than that. So maybe even a 7.5. Jordan, did you do the same? I think you did,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
he had a very good impact from when he came on, right? It's just you should expect that again. When we're playing the 7th best team in the Cypriot League or wherever they are.
Beth, Rashford involved in all 3 goals. Is 7.5 enough, or is that about right for the standard of opposition, like Charlie said?
I give Rashford an 8. And
He's leading the way.
I'm giving him an 8 because we won that game because of him. I thought involved in all 3 goals, should have taken that shot instead of passing to Ronaldo. And then Sancho, I give a 4. I thought it was very poor.
Yep. And to finish off, Beth, lead us with Anthony Martial. 3 goals in 2 games off the bench, I might add.
I'd give Martial a 7.5. I thought he wasn't quite at Rashford's level because he was involved in more, but he got on the ball well. Could have had some assists if Ronaldo could bloody finish. And I thought he played really well. Scored straight away when he came on. Played multiple different positions in the game. Yeah, I thought he did well.
Yeah. Charlie, Anthony Martial for you.
I think he played about 3 different positions this game as well.
Yeah. I was going to pick that point up. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. But no, he did well. He scored with his 3rd touch or 4th touch. So it looks like I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like he's got himself firing again. He's got himself going.
He's just going to say we've got Martial back, weren't you?
No, I wasn't going to say that. No, I wasn't going to say that. Don't take words out of my mouth. I wasn't going to say that. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with 7.
Yeah, under his breath, he did say it, Jordan. He's back. What do you reckon to Martial, mate?
I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him a 7, which making Rashford my 7.5 as my man of the match. So that was the difference between the two. I think, again, showed great promise coming off the bench. We just want him to. The same with Rashford is to influence games for 90 minutes when he starts.
Yeah,
it's all very well doing it from the bench, but we need these players to perform for 90 minutes.
That's it. After all of that, we did win the game and we are well positioned in the group now. 2 wins in a row away from home in Europe. You can't really complain on paper. No one's going to remember this game. We're not going to be talking about it for years to come or why we actually won or lost anything. But it's a win and it's momentum heading in to what hopefully is top spot. And we don't have to play in that round of 32. It's straight to the round of 16 if we get top spot. That's what's important. But we're in position. Move on to Everton at weekend. That is it, guys. Cheers for watching, as always. Beth, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. I think we skipped Anthony there, Adam. But
my God, I forgot Anthony. You did. You're right, Beth.
He's done a Kev.
Say goodbye, Beth. Give him a rating for us.
I give him a 6.
Okay. Charlie, say
6.5.
goodbye and rate Anthony.
6. I feel like I'm the Strictly
everyone.
dancers, the Strictly people, when they bring out a rating.
We need the paddles. We need the paddles.
Yeah, we do. 7. Is that Jordan, cheers for coming on. And Anthony, before you finish, again, I apologize, everyone.
Yeah, guys. Thanks, guys. And Anthony was a 6 for me.
Like, share, and subscribe. On the road to 1.5 million subscribers, everybody. It is a roller coaster. I feel like this weekend, that roller coaster that Jordan was talking about is going to it's going to just stop at the top of another big dip. God knows how fast we're going to come down it. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see you all over the weekend. It's going to be a busy one. We're all going to be on. And hopefully, we're talking about more positive results for United. Cheers for watching, everybody. Bye for now.